All right, whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, if for my humble opinion, for my in my humble opinion speech. So, if your boss emailed you at 10 p.m., would you answer? Today, I want to argue that employees should have the legal right to disconnect from work communication after hours. We'll look at how constant connectivity hurts workers, the benefits of boundaries, and what right to disconnect could look like in real life. The expectation to stay connected after hours creates an unhealthy culture. According to People Keep, the lack of boundaries leads to burnout, poor sleep, and even long-term mental health issues. When employees feel they must respond 24/7, it takes away trust and morale. This blurred line between work and life isn't sustainable, especially in remote or hybrid jobs. A job shouldn't invade your dinner, your weekend, or your sense of peace, but when boundaries are respected, both employees and businesses benefit. Respecting off hours helps everyone. When people aren't overworked, they work better. The Mosey blog explains how rest leads to more focus, better problem solving, and less absenteeism. Countries like France and Ireland have already passed right to disconnect laws, and workers report feeling less stressed and more satisfied. It also reduces turnover, which saves company time and money. Boundaries aren't a threat to productivity, they're the foundation of it. So, what could this look like if we made it a norm? This isn't a radical idea, it's practical and achievable. Companies can and should build disconnection into culture. Worklytics points out that setting clear communication hours and training managers to respect downtime can shift expectation. Tech tools can schedule um uh I can't read that, sorry. To send during office hours, avoiding after-hour pressure. Policies can allow for emergencies exceptions without normalizing 24/7 availability. It's about changing habits, not cutting corners. So what's at stake here? The right to disconnect is really the right to be human, off the clock, present at home, and free to rest. Isn't that a right worth fighting for? Okay, I'm done.
Good job.
Great speech.
Thank you.
Good job.
All
I
right.
like that topic.
Yeah, that was a pretty good topic, a lot better than mine. So, some feedback. I actually really liked how you were able to incorporate a lot of the quotes that you found from the articles that you uh honestly, great like improvement from last time. You were more
Thanks.
clear and you sounded a lot more confident in what you were talking about.
Mhm.
Um, let's see. If I were to give any type of feedback, yeah, no, I'm not sure. You did a really good job compared to last time. That was pretty good.
Thanks. I did stutter, I know that. And then there was a part where I couldn't really see because it was like blurred out, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, that's all good. I mean, for it to be kind of like the impromptu style, it's kind of a given. You don't get really much preparation to speech, so
Okay.
amazing job.
Okay. Thank you.
Alrighty. Guess it's my turn now. Okay. So for my humble opinion, I chose partners and whether they should be a part of the same religion. And so here's my speech. Have you ever felt deeply connected to someone until the topic of religion came up? Suddenly, things shift. Beliefs, values, and how we see the world are shaped by faith and spirituality. So, when it comes to serious relationships, sharing religious or spiritual beliefs is not just helpful, it's essential. Individuals should seek romantic partners who share their religious or spiritual beliefs. Why? Because it strengthens emotional connection, supports long term harmony, and improves overall relationship quality. Let's start with emotional and spiritual connection. Couples who share the same beliefs often experience a deeper sense of intimacy with each other. According to Psychology Today, partners who pray together or attend religious services together report higher satisfaction and stronger commitment. In fact, Prayer that focuses on your partner specifically builds emotional closeness and reduces the risk of infidelity or cheating. On top of that, shared rituals, whether it's celebrating holy days, meditating, or observing spiritual traditions, create moments of connection that are both meaningful and bonding. When two people grow together spiritually, their emotional bond naturally deepens. Now let's talk about long-term harmony. Shared belief guides how we make important decisions, like how to raise kids or celebrate holidays. Pew Research shows that 64% of couples who share the same religion say it's very important to their marriage. That's because when your values are aligned, it's easier to parent, plan, and practice traditions together. On the other hand, when one partner is less religious or not involved at all, conflict and disconnection can grow over time. Shared beliefs reduce those tensions and help couples feel like they're on the same page along every step of the way. Finally, shared faith improves relationship quality overall. A study of urban parents found that when fathers actively participated in religious life, they showed more affection and emotional support to their kids and family. That's because faith based values like patience, forgiveness, and self control translate into better behavior in relationships. Plus, couples who share spiritual beliefs often benefit from the support of faith of community. Having mentors, shared values, structured guidance adds an extra layer of stability to the relationship. So, should individuals seek partners with the same religious or spiritual beliefs? Yes. Shared faith is more than common ground, it's a foundation. It helps couples feel connected, aligned, and supported as they build a life together. Now, picture this a relationship where you pray together, grow together, and face challenges with the same faith and values. That's not just compatibility, it's a spiritual partnership. And when your foundation is strong, everything you build on top of it becomes stronger too. Thank you guys.
That was great.
Super
Thank
good.
you.
So I'm grading you, right?
I think so.
Okay. So your speech, I felt very like I was part of it because you were listing out like examples of like what if or like, you know. And then I think your whole speech was actually very like flowing, how it went from like relationships one-on-one to like maybe bigger to family and even to kids. Um, so the flow was very good. No stuttering. Your voice was flowing.
Thank you.
I did good.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Here we go. Proposition 36 of 2024 set California back in prison reform. I want to explain why rehabilitation over incarceration is how we correct this setback. I'll start by addressing racial and socioeconomic disparities. Next, I'll discuss the state savings from Proposition 47, which is a much more progressive prison reform, and its redistribution of state savings. And finally, I will report some significant success in rehabilitation. Studies confirm that there are racial disparities in the incarcerated population. But recently, class inequality has exceeded racial inequalities in contributing to the likelihood of someone going to jail. Proposition 47 had saved California $800 million and had deposited these savings into the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Fund, which funded social community-based programs to support our at-risk communities. Davalos and Graves also reported that individuals who participated in these community-based programs were less likely to reoffend. My name is Rosie, and rehabilitation over incarceration is how we correct the setback of Proposition 36 of 2024.
I think that was a really good topic. I feel like that is something that kind of gets overshadowed a lot in today's society. People just want to focus on the fact that the incarcerated are incarcerated, so therefore they should be treated however, instead of rehabilitation and focusing on getting them back into society and becoming healthy parts of society. And so I really liked your topic for one. Um, your eye contact was super good. You sounded super calm when you were giving your presentation, and you sounded very authoritative, like you knew what you were talking about. You were confident. truly believed in what you were saying. The only thing that I would say is maybe, I don't know. Ours were a little bit longer, but I feel like that's not necessarily bad. I feel like you can make more of an impact on something when you keep it short and just very straight to the point. So I feel like that's not really feedback, but yeah, overall, you did a really great job. That's all I really have.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely had a lot more to say, but I was like, how can I not stumble over all these words?
Yeah, that makes sense. I struggle sometimes with enunciating my words, so I feel that.
Thank you.
Yeah, great job, great job. All right, let's go. Ready? Let's see. All right. Healthcare is not a privilege, it is a right. So my purpose today is to share with you why universal healthcare is a needed thing in US. Today I'll talk about the economic impact, the system management, as well as access and wait times of the medical system. So let's begin. First off, the economic impact. How will universal Medicare impact the US economies? Well, in my opinion, it'll actually benefit all of the US. The reason for this being is because it'll lower universal costs of Medicare around. It'll reduce medical bankruptcies, as well as families won't have to go into debt just to stay healthy. Now, this is important because it'll become affordable for everyone in the US. Next is the government role and system of management. So, how would this impact the medical system? Well, it'll actually make everything easier to access. So, the system will be simpler for everyone to use. It's going to be easier to coordinate care. And then a single system will not have to deal with a lot of hassle or a lot of waste of time when compared to using a lot of different medical providers. Now, this is important because of the access and ability that everyone's going to be able to get for this kind of help. Now, finally, access and wait times. So, how will medical wait times be impacted? Well, it'll spread out when everyone starts to go to the doctors. So, everyone's going to be able to get the chance to see a doctor. People will not have to wait until they're seriously sick, and care becomes consistent, not chaotic. So, when everyone's able to go for the time that works for them, everyone's able to get the care that they need. So today we talked about the economic impact, the government role in system management, as well as access and wait times. So now you know why healthcare is a privilege and not, no, not a privilege, but it's a right.
That was great. Love the topic. I really like the way you addressed some key points about it be like its effectiveness, especially when that's such a topic of discussion these days within our political climate. You highlighted on just how effective and efficient it'll be for everyone in the long run. So great points there and explanations. I think that it's so funny how we all chose these topics, and I think we all sounded so confident in our speeches because it's what our opinions are. So it's very grounded. And yeah, you had a clear voice. So I thought it was great.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Moving on. That's what they said. Okay. So have you ever stayed quiet about something that hurt you, thinking it would just go away? Audre Lorde once said, "Your silence will not protect you." I want to explore why staying silent about injustice, identity, or pain doesn't shield us. Speaking up is how we reclaim power, visibility, and healing. We'll look at how silence harms, how Audre Lorde turns speech into survival, and why our voices matter now more than ever. Many of us are taught to stay quiet to avoid conflict, but it doesn't keep us safe. Silence often deepens harm rather than preventing it. In the Southerner article, Lorde describes how silence allowed her fears to fester and her identity to be ignored. When we're silent about racism, sexism, or injustice, the systems uh, it's blocking it again. Hurt us to stay untouched. Suppressing pain isolate us. It does not heal us. What we don't say still shapes us. Oh my gosh. The cost of silence is invisibility, but Lord didn't just name the problem, she modeled the solution. Silence won't fix what we don't face, whether it's injustice in the world or struggles in our lives. Breaking silence is an act of courage. The White Review emphasizes that Lord's work is a call to action, especially for marginalized voices. In a world of social media, authentic voice still matters. When we speak, we open the door for change and solidarity. We may still face risk when we speak, but silence guarantees nothing will change. So, how does this apply to us? Silence may feel safe, but it's not shelter. As Audre Lorde taught us, your silence will not protect you, but your voice just might. That-
That
Great,
was a
Great job.
good job.
yes. I liked your quote. I also kind of
Oh,
picked something that was kind of like that. So I
oh,
like
really?
thought alike there. Um, Let me think. Feedback. Maybe just practice going over your speech a little bit more
Yeah. Mhm.
because you kind of sounded not unsure of what you were talking about, but just kind of hesitant. And I feel
Yeah.
like when you're trying to relay such a powerful speech, you want to sound very authoritative and like,
Mhm.
this is my speech, this is how I feel, you want to sound more confident. So that would really be the only feedback that I have. I feel like I loved all the ways that you relayed the information, how you incorporated your sources and talked about how silence just doesn't do anything at all. So it's better to at least try to say something. Like
Mhm.
I kind of talk about that in my speech too. So that's really the only thing that I have to say, but overall you did a really great job.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
You caught yourself. You did good. You're able to continue. It's like the best thing ever to do during a speech.
Yeah. All righty. That's what they said. Yeah. Okay. All right, my turn. Have you ever felt powerless when witnessing injustice? Imagine if we all stayed silent. How many voices would remain unheard? Speaking out and taking action aren't just choices, they're essential to giving hope and rights back to those who are denied them. Today, I want to show you why speaking out and taking action matters so much for injustice. First, I'll explain the power of speaking out. Then, I'll share why taking action is equally important. Speaking out raises awareness for those who cannot speak for themselves. I believe speaking out is the first step towards justice and change. According to an article on the Medium, speaking out amplifies oppressed voices and can lead to societal shifts. Silence often perpetuates injustice, so using our voices is a moral responsibility. When we speak up, we shine light on issues that others ignore, inspiring more people to join the causes and sparking real progress. But people, no, but words aren't enough. We also must take concrete steps. Speaking out starts with the conversation, but action drives a change. Taking action transforms advocacy into real world results. I strongly believe that without action, speaking out risks becoming empty words. The Franciscan media stresses the moral obligation to act for those denied rights. Local leaders and community advocates show that tailored engagement strategies effectively support marginalized groups. Taking action provides tangible support, protects rights, and empowers those without the voice to reclaim their dignity. Together, speaking out and taking action are the path to justice. Let's remember why both are needed to create lasting change. So, next time you see injustice, don't stay silent. Use your voice, take action, and help bring light to those still in the shadows. Because when we speak out and act, we give power back to those who have been denied it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
So, your speech was very good. Like you said, like for my speech, it didn't sounded authoritative, but yours did. You sounded like, you were talking about. You were firm on your beliefs according to the quote that you chose. Um, yeah. But overall, I do like your speech. It sounded like you were confident. You had enough information to like back it up.
Thank
Yeah.
you. You guys are so sweet. All right, Rosie.
Okay, here I go. Okay. Stand up for what is right, even if you are standing alone, by Susie Kassem. I encourage people to listen to the words of Susie because it promotes inner strength. And in addition to this, standing with our morals aligns us with ourselves. And finally, there's benefits in working through discomfort within disagreements. Research by Callie Hugh et al. Shows that there is a correlation between empowerment and moral courage. Empowerment being what grows our inner strength. Additionally, when we understand our values, we are able to be in better alignment with ourselves, and this will help us create stronger, deeper connections. And finally, disagreements may feel like confrontation, but it is important to remember the importance of reaching common ground. These disagreements can be met with empathy and understanding, which will lead to personal growth and stronger relationships. My name is Rosie, and I encourage people to listen to the words of Susie Kassem. Stand for what is right, even if you are standing alone.
Love that. Love that. I like how we all kind of chose similar topics because I feel like there was a couple in there that were a little bit different, but I like that. We all have great,
Right? Yeah.
very strong feminine minds, minus Roman. You have a great male. Um, so I like how you talked about understanding and coming to your own sense of beliefs because it'll help you align better with yourself. I feel like a lot of the times in society, people are sheeps. They just follow what they see and don't really come up with their own sense of self and what they feel confident about or passionate about. And so I liked how you brought that up because I feel like that's super important for this next generation is to kind of stand on your own ground and be your own person. Like that sounds so corny, but really be yourself. I like that. And then you sounded great. You relayed the speech really great. I don't really have any like negative things to say about it. I feel like it was a really good speech. Pace was great, tone was great. So overall, really good job.
Thank you.
Sweet. Alrighty. Let's go. Alrighty. Social justice is not just a recommendation, it's required. Today, I'll discuss the quote about social justice is the foundation of a civilized society. This is written by Moran Wright Edelman. First, I'm going to discuss about the quote itself and then why is it needed. So let's jump right in. So what does this quote mean? Well, in my opinion, it's a baseline of what a true society can build off of. The reason for this being is if you look at what she talks about foundation, if things aren't really fair, then the rest falls apart. So if you have a bad foundation, it's not going to support as anything. When we look at a true civilized society, it talks about the protections of minorities as well as promoting laws and institutions of justice. So all of this is important because it shows why or it shows what makes a functional and beneficial society. Next, why is it needed? So this is needed because of equality for all. So without justice, the civilization would not stick together and it will break apart. This can be seen because of increased poverty, violence, and division. People will stop trusting the system, and then society will can't not advance if it ignores oppression. So this is important because social justice communities can truly thrive if all together. So today we talked about the quote itself and why it's needed. So now we know why social justice is not just a recommendation, it's required.
Great job. I love all our topics. I think we all did so good. Again, your voice was clear and you did a great job at listing out the facts to support your statements. And I think that each one kind of tied in together with like what each statement was all intertwined, right? And so all your, everything just flowed perfectly and made sense. So it was a good speech.
Alrighty. Thank you. Thank you.